Unit 2, Learning Target number 8, Add and subtract multi-digit whole numbers. Let's look at adding and subtracting decimals, beginning with a word problem. NASA has designed a space probe to fly first to Mars and then to Jupiter to take pictures. It will be approximately 141.369 million miles from Earth to Mars. It will be an additional 450.452 million miles to Jupiter. How far will the probe have traveled when it gets to Jupiter? So let's draw a quick picture here and see if we can understand. So we're starting at Earth with a big E here, and then we're going to travel to Mars. So we'll travel from Earth to Mars, and that's going to be 141.369. Then we're going to travel the rest of the way to Jupiter, the big J, and that's going to be 450.452 miles. Now what are we doing? Are we adding or subtracting, or are we multiplying or dividing? Well, we're going to be combining these two together, so we know that this is going to be addition. Now, one of the most important things we can remember when we're adding decimals is to make sure to line up our decimals. We want to line them up and make sure that they are on top of each other. So 141.369, and then we'll line up our next decimal, 450.452. And then we'll add those together. And we'll add them together just like we would any other number. 9 plus 2 is 11. We'll carry our 1. 5 plus 6 is 11. We add our 1 in, and that gives us 12. And then we carry the 1. 4 plus 3 is 7. Plus 1 is 8. Now, we just bring our decimal straight down here. Then we continue adding. 1 plus 0 is 1. 5 plus 4 is 9. And 4 plus 1 is 5. So, we will travel 591.821 million miles to go to Jupiter. Let's take a look at another problem involving subtraction. Mercury is 57.91 million kilometers from the Sun. Mars is 227.940 million kilometers from the Sun. How much further from the Sun is Mars than Mercury? And that is our question. How much further from the Sun is Mars than Mercury? So here's our Sun, and we'll draw that twice. Here's our Sun, and the distance from Mars to Mercury, from the Sun rather to Mercury, is 57.91 million miles. And the distance from the Sun to Mars is 227.940 million miles. So we want to know how much further Mars is than Mercury. So we know we're going to subtract. Now, when we are subtracting decimals, once again, we're going to make sure that we line them up. We'll line up our decimals. So let's get rid of this and begin our problem. We'll remember that Mars is further away at 227.940 miles, whereas Mercury is closer, so we're going to subtract the distance from Mercury from the distance from Mars. We'll make sure to line up our decimals, so we'll put 57.91 here, and we'll subtract, and we'll put a placeholder here of 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. 4 minus 1 is 3. 9 minus 9 is 0, and we'll bring down our decimal. We'll make sure that they are lined up. 7 minus 7 is 0. We can't get 5 from 2, so we have to borrow 1 from here, which makes this 12. 12 minus 5 is 7 and leaves us with 1. So that Mars is 170.03 million miles from further than Mercury.